Hello and happy Sunday to everyone. I'm just checking to see if we are live. Yes, we are live. Good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen in Malaysia and in India. Welcome to this edition of Heart to Heart with Ethel Da Costa. I have a crazy interesting topic today on, all of us want to know this, on what is the secret to anti-aging? And from all the the back end chatter that I had with friends when I announced the topic was very interesting, saying, oh my god, saying that most of them women, saying that, oh Ethel, we have to be on this show because we are really really keen to understand and know this from the expert, from your expert guest on on what we always kind of want to know on what is the secret to anti-aging. It's like asking if Shangri-La really exists. I believe it does. So the secret to some sort of immortality, if you could call it, could also be possible with the right gurus and the right teachers and the right experts, if we are lucky enough to meet them. So, welcome to this edition of Heart to Heart. It is the eve of Diwali in Malaysia, and from what I can see, it's festivities all around, everywhere, in the Indian community. Also, I think in a very beautiful way, Malaysians as well as the Chinese also in India, in Malaysia, join in the entire celebration of of Deepavali, and so am I, because I celebrate all festivals because I believe the path to to divinity is the same. It's just different names and different avatars that come into this world. On a very interesting note, I must also mention that this whole week has been like a huge, India celebration for me because I have been watching Shantaram. I don't know if you can watch it in India. It's on Apple TV. But the book written by Gregory David Roberts is awesomely, kind of put together in television format, and the acting is superb. Of course, you kind of get to see such a real life, depiction of the slums in Mumbai. And having lived in Bombay for a long time myself, it's completely real life how they kind of picturize the entire scene, um, the, the squalor and the great humanity in all that we see in places that we kind of least expect is completely true. So if you know where to watch Shantaram, I suggest you really watch it because it's really top notch production, and I love the book too. So it's kind of very close to what you read, and of course, artistic liberty also happens with the series. But more on that later on. Let me just get introduce my guest, Dr. Lenny Da Costa, who is very well known in Malaysia actually, because Dr. Lenny is quite a popular face and a fixture in the in the medical fraternity, as a very distinguished speaker. And I met him just few months back when he was in Kuala Lumpur at one such an event as a speaker. Dr. Lenny Da Costa, from Goa, is a preventive cardiologist and an anti-aging specialist, as you've already read in the bio that I put out, certified by the Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine of India in the field of anti-aging medicine, a very distinguished speaker at many of the international meets, as I said, in Istanbul, in Kuala Lumpur, in Bangkok, Thailand, in Bali, in Australia as well. And over the last 18 years, I understand that he has treated more than, I think, 30,000 patients, he says, suffering from RHD, CAD, diabetes, and a lot of many other different chronic degenerative disorders. Um, uh, how do I call it? Um, my brother also, consults with Dr. Lenny, and from having known Dr. Lenny for a very very long time, right since our college days, I am completely amazed with the kind of stellar reputation and how his patients speak so highly of him. But more of that, we get to know from Dr. Lenny Da Costa himself on my heart seat today as I bring him online, directly live from Goa. So hang in there, pick up your cup of tea, hot tea, or a glass of wine. It's raining in Malaysia, so all the more reason for you to log into FB onto my page and be part of this very interesting conversation that I am going to have with Dr. Lenny Da Costa. Let me just get him online with me. Dr. Lenny, hi there and good evening.
Hi, Ethel. How are you? Great to see you.
Great to see you too. Welcome to this edition of Heart to Heart with me, Ethel Da Costa. Welcome.
Yes, I'm happy to be here and looking forward to a great conversation this evening.
Yes, I am so glad that I got to meet you. I think just some 2 months back when you were here in
July,
Kuala
July,
Lumpur, right? Yeah.
July.
Yeah, it felt very so close to home because I have not been home for the last I think 2.5 years. So it was good meeting you.
Yes, yes.
So today's very interesting topic because when I kind of launched it out on social media, a lot of my friends kind of say, "Oh my God, we have to know more about this." So we are going to log in. So let's just jump straight into the interview.
Sure.
As you know that Heart to Heart is about what I call it as leadership soul series. So it's very conversational. Uh, it is very close to our heart conversation. So, Dr. Lenny, I hope you're going to be very honest and truthful today, today with us. What is the mantra to attain the fountain of youth?
Okay, so let me put it this way, Ethel.
Yes,
Uh, I wouldn't want to put it as a one-liner till you understand what I'm going to say. So
yes,
basically, our health depends on five areas that we refuse to look at. Basically, the five areas
okay,
are nutrition. We eat, we overeat, but we are malnourished. Uh,
yes,
the toxic environment that we are exposed to, which our body was not meant to handle. So a lot of toxicities around us, and how do we go about removing those toxic substances from our body? So that's the second. The
okay,
third is how you balance your hormones. Now, when we say hormones, everybody thinks it's females alone. No, we're not looking at sex hormones alone. There are a
yes,
number of other hormones that our body has, things like insulin, things like cortisol. And these two have been out of sync in a majority of the people who have a lot of the degenerative disease that we see. So that's the third pillar,
okay,
kind of, when we look at what we call functional medicine or anti aging medicine. The fourth is a very, very strong body. Our bodies were made to hunt and to defend ourselves, not to sit on a chair in an AC room.
yeah,
That's where the
that's right.
problem starts. So we
Yeah,
don't have a very strong body, and we need to figure out how we are going to get that. And finally, the fifth pillar on which your answer to your question lies is basically the state of our mind. So how healthy you are is how healthy you think you are. And that is very important because 90% of the times we think ourselves to disease. And so the one liner that you were looking for, you sleep well, you don't stress, you eat right, you
correct.
exercise daily, and you don't get toxic stuff in your body, you can live as long as you want. And that probably is the elixir to youth.
So and you believe this is completely achievable, right, in today's time?
So what I do basically is use these five pillars to shift people from sickness to good health. If I can do that,
Yes.
obviously people can actually prevent disease by ensuring that they are in this. I mean, these five areas are nicely balanced out.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Because I understand what you're saying, and I understand where it comes from. But in a normal day-to-day kind of life that we all live in, to achieve that state of being, Dr. Lenny, takes a lot of inner work, right?
It does. But at the end of the day, I've realized something with my own experience with this. So for years, I've been experimenting with each of these things and watching what works for my patients. But
Yes.
when you have to do it yourself, it becomes very difficult.
Right.
And so when you put how you feel right through the day
Yes.
as your top priority, then you take care of what you're going to put in your mouth. What are you going to do early morning? Are you going to get up and look at your mobile phones the first thing? Or
Yes.
or do you have a good morning routine that will kind of cut that stress, give you that feeling of gratitude early morning, which kind of starts the day on a very, very high note? Then you kind of work out to get your body moving. Then you get into your day with a very planned kind of a thing. If you do that, everyone yearns for that. But what
Yes.
happens is we think that we're in control of our lives. We aren't, because we are always rushing. And we
Yeah.
don't realize that rushing is the cause of a lot of the problems that we face.
Yes.
The moment we kind of cool it down and look down and say, hey, listen, the world is not going to end if
Correct.
something doesn't happen today. If we
Yes.
just follow that and be grateful for what we already have instead of running after what we don't have,
Correct.
I think 90% of our problems, especially health problems, disappear.
Yeah, you are so completely right, because when we met also, 2 months back, and I was telling you, all the kind of the detox and the declutter that I myself did in this last 2.5 years, Dr. Lenny, to be telling you, the honest to goodness truth, yeah, is what I understood myself was taking control, of my emotional well-being, my mental well-being, and my spiritual well-being.
And that's so important. That's so important because you need to look at it on a day-to-day basis. See, at the
Correct.
end of the day, 90% of the stress is because we are not grateful for what we have. I have just three hacks. I have just three hacks for people who say that they are stressed. It's a hack. You don't
Yes.
need to, kind of change your lifestyle to do it. Every time you feel stressed, be grateful for what you have.
Yeah.
Just be grateful for what you have. Being grateful releases different neurotransmitters. It blocks the release of cortisol. It breaks the stress cycle. That is the
Yes.
number one hack. The second hack is just get up and do a few jumping jacks. You release a lot of your endorphins.
Yeah.
Endorphins
Feel
are
good. The feel good hormones.
absolutely, absolutely. And the third one, if you can't do either of the two, we use
Yes.
our phone for all kinds of things. But for once, go to YouTube and watch some comics and laugh aloud. So that
Yeah.
laughter itself also breaks hacks. So it's if you can control your mind, your spiritual, your mental, and your emotional well-being, and be very clear about the fact that you are here for a purpose, and
Correct.
the purpose is much bigger than you are, than
Yes.
you. That's when
Yeah.
you realize that you have to be grateful for what you have.
Correct.
I often remind myself of the story of what my mentor taught me. The, and
Okay.
this was a gentleman by the name of Blessing, and he talks about uh, a bumblebee story. He says, you know what the story of a bumblebee is? I mean, if the bumblebee did not cross pollinate, we wouldn't have had the vegetation that we have. We
Yes.
survived because the bumblebee does what it needs to do. And
Correct.
so all of us here are here for a much higher purpose than we even know. The bumblebee doesn't know what its noble purpose is. But
Correct.
we as humans should understand that. And when we understand that, that's when health becomes a very important issue. But health
Yeah.
takes care of itself because you have taken
Yes.
50% of the problems off. You've taken them off the table. You've put your
Correct.
mind, you're grateful for what you have, and the stress has gone down. So the matchstick that lights the fire to create disease and to create aging in your life disappears from
Yes.
your life.
Yes, absolutely. You're so right. So I have this one, like you mentioned, a hack, right? I wake up in the morning, Dr. Lenny, and I kind of stretch my arms and I say, today is going to be an awesome day, loudly to myself. And that's it. That is it. I just wake up, being so grateful for the fact that I woke up alive. You know what I'm saying? And that
Absolutely.
itself is a cause for celebration.
I
Yeah,
tell all my cancer patients this. I said, you get up in the morning and do this, you will
yeah,
stall your cancer halfway. It'll just stall. The progression
yes,
stalls because 90% of the reasons why cancers gallop is because of the stress of the disease
yeah,
and
yes,
sometimes the huge hurt that we hold in ourselves, which we
correct.
don't realize.
Yeah, that's why, because everything is energy. I think everything is just energy that happens inside us and, and out of us. I'm so glad to hear, those 5 hacks, Dr. Lenny. And I hope my audiences, when they watch the show later on, will take notes, write it and put it up somewhere, as an affirmation for themselves. I know that this conversation will fluctuate between daily life, medicine, and spirituality, because I think that is what the mantra to living a healthy life is all about. I also
Absolutely.
very strongly believe in that. So my next question to you comes from a very having kind of understood this in terms of self awareness. From birth to death, what are the key factors in terms of that us as a human should follow in terms of nutrition, health, spirituality, emotional health needed to achieve and maintain optimal youth?
So again, it's a question that everybody wants an answer to, but it's
Yes.
it's there before us, and we should just look back and see. And we don't do that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are so used to what I call band-aid solutions.
Yeah.
Uh,
Correct.
we just want to put a band-aid over everything that we have and get quick fix solutions which don't last. See,
Yes.
the understanding of living a good life, a good healthy life, which basically is what will keep you young as long as you live,
Yeah.
is probably the is understanding what your body was made 70,000 years ago for. Uh, you were made. I mean, our genome, what we call, the structure, the DNA structure, the
Yes.
genome of our body has not shifted more than 0.0007% over the last 70,000 years. So from 70,000 years ago, we are similar. But the way we lived life those days and the way we
Right.
live life today, we
Right.
are in two opposite directions. Our body was made to survive those harsh conditions. Whenever we were hungry, there was no restaurant or supermarket where we could go buy food, come back and cook and eat.
Correct.
We had to get out, either gather food or hunt for our food. We were hunter gatherers. We were not
Right.
farmers those days. Farming
Yes.
started only 10,000 years ago. Now, when you are going to do that, you don't know when is your next meal, but you're already very hungry. Body was meant to survive that hunger. And in the process, if somebody attacked you, so that, to make you their meal, you knew
Yes.
how to get away from there. So you were fast, you were furious, and you could get away from any kind of an attack, despite the fact that you were starving and hungry. So our body was made for those harsh conditions. Now, what we have done, we have shifted from there to overeating. I
Yes.
don't really know who told us to eat 3 times a day.
Correct.
Who did eat 3 times? I don't really know. So
Yeah.
the whole process is we are overeating and we're eating the wrong food.
Mm.
We don't have the
Yes.
right minerals. We don't have, most of our food is bereft of minerals. And you'll ask me why. A third standard geography we forget. We were told in our third standard geography that all the minerals come through the rivers onto the plains from the source of the river. What have we done? We have gone and dammed the river. So where are
Yes.
our plains, where our veggies and our fruits growing, getting their minerals from? Each of those minerals, the magnesium, the selenium, the chromium, all of this is required for those numerous biochemical reactions your body has. And when they don't come in your food, your
Correct.
biochemical reactions don't happen, your body underperforms. That's when you have things like thyroid. Now, we
Yes. Oh
don't
my gosh. Yeah.
understand these issues. We
Everything
don't
is linked.
understand this. So, if you can mimic what you were doing years ago,
Yes.
even let's say 30, 40, or even 70 years ago, we were
Correct.
outdoors. We were outdoors.
Yes.
Outdoors, the sun doesn't just give you vitamin D. It
Yes.
gives you something known as subcellular melatonin that enhances your energy levels and enhances the entire regenerative process at the cellular level, which modern medicine has kept quiet about. Because if you were
Yes.
to go outdoors, you wouldn't be as sick as you are. So if
Correct.
you want to live your life from maybe your childhood to as long as you want to live, there are only three things you need to do. One is be as active as possible. So do a daily exercise. Do things like, interval training. Why? Because they mimic what you were doing those days. You were running fast or you were
Hmm.
running away from something very fast. Fasting
Correct.
is the second thing you need to do. Because the more you fast, the more your
Yes.
body regenerates. Because the moment you cross 14 hours, there's something called autophagy that sets in. Autophagy is a way of the body to regenerate itself, to repair itself. And that is
Okay.
one of the best ways to kind of live a more eternal life. So your body can, regenerate, become much more youthful. It's much better
Yes.
than giving yourself stem cells. So second is fast. And the third, which we avoid, is sleeping between 11 when it gets dark, 10:30, 11, and
Correct.
in the morning. Why? Because that's the time when you get your regenerative hormones, hormones that you would
Oh.
pay a lot of money to kind of
Okay.
regenerate yourself. Things like growth hormone are released at the night when between 11:30 and 3. Things like melatonin from your pineal gland come between 11:30 and 3. These regenerate your body, helping you live a longer life. And we
Wow.
have stopped doing this. We party
Yes.
all night. We are on our phones all night. We watch Netflix all night. All these are sure shot ways of getting yourself to hospitals.
Yes. My God. My gosh. Yeah. It's like re-looking at how we live on a day-to-day basis, right, Dr. Lenny?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
I
I
also.
tell my patients, you don't have to do it all day. So you don't have to
Yes.
become a hermit, to kind of live this life. You do it
True.
5 days a week,
Yeah.
and you still have your weekends to go out and do what you want to do. But do it
Correct.
for 5 days a week and see what happens to you.
Yeah. So you're saying living a life of self-discipline is what I think is the key actually, which also kind of
But
reminds
not
me.
just self-discipline, doing the right things at the right time.
Right things at the right time, yeah, because look at our ancient ancient history. Look at the Egyptians. I think they lived long, they lived well, because
Absolutely.
also like how you were saying about starving your body
Yeah,
for I
fasting.
think
You
it was
actually
very popular during the Egyptian times as well.
every religion tells us to do that. Why? Do you think
Yes.
they wanted you to the religious leaders had any kind of sadistic pleasure to make you hungry, keep you hungry all the time?
Yeah, yeah.
No, they believed it and they knew it, and these are some of those ancient wisdoms that we have decided to ignore. They knew that the body regenerated the more you fasted, and so
Yes.
every religion talks of a fast which is 24 hours every week. And I'll tell you this, Ethel, the other day I had a long session with Dr. Paul Marrick, and it was actually broadcast in Malaysia.
Okay.
And it was very interesting to note that we talk about a lot of problems post-COVID, long COVID. Even the
Yes.
COVID vaccination in many of us is creating problems because of the spike protein. The only way that you can get rid of all that is basically fasting.
Oh.
And Paul Marrick himself told his own story. He has
Hmm.
been a doctor for 30 years, an ICU specialist. He had very high levels of diabetes, and he decided because he wanted to get rid of this
Yeah.
spike protein in him because of COVID, he went on to do a one meal a day regime, intermittent fasting. And
Okay.
believe me, he has reversed his diabetes in 7 months. He
Wow.
doesn't take a medication. Personally, I have reversed all my hypertensive issues. I don't take a single tablet for blood pressure anymore. I used to take four.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So
Being a doctor
just
yourself.
that change. just to change, you get rid
Yes.
of medication and you're feeling much better. You're looking much better. So
Yes.
you kind of get the elixir of youth that you're looking at, the actual secret of living long. If you look at the hunter-gatherer community, they always live to be 120. The fasting,
Yes.
the
Correct.
the farming community, their average age was 60, 65.
Right.
And this is what we do. We eat a lot of farmed foods and we've forgotten what we were doing as hunter gatherers.
Yeah, these are really, I think, so awesome notes, Dr. Lenny, to kind of really kind of keep it down, because I think after this, after the interview, I'm going to sit down and watch this show all over again so I can take my notes down. Like seriously, because I think health is such a is my number one priority, myself. Which brings me to our next question, because I understand that, as I said, we've been also kind of talking. I've been also kind of been in the last 2.5 years. I've met some very fabulous, talent in the in the medical community, especially in terms of health and eating right. Also, as you mentioned, sleep, bioresonance, energy healing, all that kind of, alternative forms of medicine that I really strongly believe in myself. Would you say India holds the key? And I'm saying this because from whatever that I'm seeing also now in the last 2.5 years, would you say India holds the key to the ancient rituals of beauty, immortality, and moksha? Does it all come together to create this sense of, ultimate or optimum well-being?
So, uh, if you understand India properly, India was the place where uh, most of what medicine started. It started there. Modern medicine is much different. But if
Yes.
you look at Shushruta, he was the ancient physician, and we spoke of it 5,000 years ago. And so India had always has and will always have a lot of classical Ayurvedic texts that give you a lot of secrets, which
Yes.
unfortunately even modern Ayurveda doesn't follow for some reason.
Okay.
And a lot of that knowledge is lost on even people like us when we want to look at it. But yes, what has happened over the years, Ethel, is from India, a lot of this has gone overseas. It's gone to
Yes.
Western herbology and Western supplement and Western nutrient manufacturers. And they kind of use this to reverse disease. And from there, it's coming back into the country. And so
Yeah, that is
the
true. True.
yeah, 3 weeks ago, not three, last month actually, exactly a month ago, I had a conference which I used to organize every year, and we got together a lot of the functional medicine, anti-aging medicine, alternative practitioners who are doing a lot of integration of Ayurveda, modern medicine, and even homeopathy and Siddhi, Asita, and Yoga together to see what we can get together. And we had some very interesting conversations there. And it's looking bright. If you're looking to live well, yes, it's looking bright. But to answer your question, India does have a lot of wealth of knowledge. It's just that we need to look at the right places to get what we want to achieve in this lifetime of ours on this planet. We have probably many other lifetimes that we will journey through, but in this
Correct.
journey, India does provide a lot of the keys that you need to, open up the maze of your own life. Yes, it does.
Yeah. Wow. I love that, because the flavor of the flavor of the global scenario, as I call it, looks to be India, because there's so much, there's so much happening. Suddenly it's like an awakening, I feel, because everywhere that you go, you kind of see that India has kind of how do you call it? Kind of really being spoken of in discussions. I mean, just not where entertainment is concerned, but actually, in the healing universe, as I call it, because I follow a lot of international life coaches who are talking about everything, like you mentioned, Ayurveda and yoga, and food, and going back into all the old Indian rituals of healthy lifestyles. It is all just, I think it's like a beautiful, awakening that I see. Yeah, and I hope that with doctors like you being so passionate about a certain kind of way of living and lifestyle that you advocate yourself so strongly, that we are going to make a huge long-term difference.
So true.
Yeah, I really kind of believe
Absolutely, I
that.
totally agree with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. What is your key advice, to patients in particular, and to people in general on living a great life, in just lay language?
So what I always tell my patients, and this is something that I tell my patients, I treat reversal of diabetes, I treat very bad heart patients, and some
Yes.
very hopeless cancer cases, but they all live a good life. Because what we try to inculcate in most of our patients is one simple thing.
Yes.
We tell them, listen, you have a life, you have got certain challenges. We don't call
Correct.
them difficulties.
Yes.
So the idea is the challenge is there because it's teaching you something.
Correct.
And so my way of looking at it is whatever challenges you get in life, whether it is health, whether it's finance, whether it is anything else, whether it's
Yeah.
relationships, it's teaching you something. It's
Correct.
teaching you something which is going to be able to do what your mission in life is supposed to be. And so if you can understand that, then you're not going to question the question why I am suffering from this disease. So the number
Mm.
one thing that you need to do is stop doing that. Because when you get there, you get into a spiral of depression. And
Yes.
that's when you don't get a good life. The disease holds you in a tight grip. But
Yeah.
when you say what are you learning from all this that it's teaching you, then it's a
Yes.
different conversation you're having with yourself. And the
Correct.
disease is not your focus. Your focus is your own life and how you
Yeah.
want to live it and what you want to do with it. That's when the disease leaves you. That's when the disease stops attacking you because that doesn't become the center of your life. And
Correct.
so when you start looking at how well you want to live your life, that's when you start making the changes that effectively cut that disease off. And that's
Yes.
where the true change and the true reversal of disease happens. It can't
Correct.
happen with me telling you, do this, do this, do this, do this. No, it starts with the mind. It starts with you telling yourself, what am I learning from this? What is this
Hmm.
teaching me? What am I going to do with this going forward for the mission that I've been sent to do here? So that
Correct.
becomes your prime goal, not fighting the disease. And when the fighting the disease is no longer your goal, then the disease is no longer the central point of your life,
Yes.
then you can recover fast. And for the
Yes.
general public, it's always focus on what is positive. If you're living a good life, thank God that you've got that good life. You have a
Yes.
good business, thank God for the business. If you are a diabetic and your sugars are under control, thank God for it. Because
Correct.
only way that when you thank for what you have, you'll receive more.
Yeah.
You don't acknowledge what you have, you're never going to receive anything more. And so
Correct.
that is where the entire thing of being healthy, being happy comes from. We all think that we'll be happy when our our sugars are under control, or when we get over this problem of a particular cancer, or we have got this much of money. It's never that.
Or
Why you
buy, or when I
live
get myself a BMW.
or when I get myself a BMW. Exactly. You'll never be happy. Happiness is today, it's a state of your mind. If your
Yes.
mind, you're happy, you'll get everything. If you're not happy, nothing comes to you.
Correct. So beautifully said, and so damn true. Because, like you so rightly said, Dr. Lenny, gratitude is the key to joy, bliss, and happiness. And I'm saying this, having experienced it, having discovered it myself. Like I mentioned to you last time too, even my whole body changed.
It
How I
does.
feel,
It does.
yeah, how I feel about myself changed.
It does.
Like when people meet me who knew me before, they say, what happened to you? What have you done to yourself? I said, I only have decluttered and detoxified everything and everyone.
Exactly. That's the way to be. That's the way to be.
Yeah, and on this particular happy joyful kind of note, let's take a short break, and I'm going to see if Dr. Hugh, who's in Singapore, can join us, and then jump straight back into the interview. In a minute, on a short sponsor break, as I call it, doctor. I'll see you in a minute. That is so beautifully spoken. Gratitude is the key, ladies and gentlemen, to living a truly beautiful, awesome, happy life.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Hugh from the Mac Clinic, and I'm standing right here at this spot. We've got something very exciting coming your way. So here I am at our newest outlet, a clinic in Great Eastern Mall, and this is where we're going to launch very exciting new treatments, and it's a new place, a new spot for our clinic. It's our third clinic, the other two are in Bangsa. So do come and visit us if you're staying around in Ampang or KL area. Very near, we're only about 5 minutes away from KLCC. It's a new convenience spot for people in KL.
And that was our short little sponsor break, because Heart to Heart with Ethel Da Costa is an association with the Mac Clinic, Malaysia's pioneering aesthetic institution, with Dr. Hugh Kit as its, at the helm of all the innovation that he does in how do you call it, in creating a healthy, beautiful, way of life and living for yourself. I am loving the conversation with Dr. Lenny, because what he is saying is so doable, achievable. And if you really put our minds and heart to it, I think all of us have the secret to anti-aging, and there cannot be any more excuses on why we should live, a life of disease and unhappiness and and aging, that kind of thing. So let me bring Dr. Lenny back again into the show and continue with this edition of Heart to Heart. There you are. Great. So that was the Mac Clinic, who is an associate partner with Heart to Heart in Malaysia, and I love Dr. Hugh Kit, who I wish that you could meet. But when you're in Malaysia, you tell me, and then we all kind of three meet together. He's another one who's like a strong ambassador of aging gracefully and naturally. Dr. Lenny, what you have been in Kuala Lumpur for quite some time, from what I pleasantly got to know from you. What have been your own experiences in Kuala Lumpur?
So I was visiting Kuala Lumpur way back from 2010, I guess, right up to 2015, 4-5 years.
Okay.
And for me, it was a pleasant surprise that a lot of the adult population, I wouldn't say the aging population, I would say a population between the ages of 35 to 55, were seriously thinking of ways, or were looking for ways that they would not get disease or live a longer life, a longer disease-free life. That was what their search was at that point in time. Because I was getting a lot of patients at that time who would come to me not to get diabetes or not to get heart disease or not to get cancer. That was not the case in India. In India, we would go to a doctor only when we were sick.
Yes.
It is about 5 or 6 years later now, or 7 years now, after I stopped coming into Malaysia for actually consulting, that I'm seeing the same trend coming into India now. And this is primarily driven by what happened during COVID.
Right.
But in Malaysia, this was there those days. And if you look at it, the population is much smaller.
Yes.
But people, despite their, very stressful lifestyles, do take time out in Malaysia to go and take care of themselves. And that's the reason why, if you look at even the spa industry, it's a huge industry, unlike in India. Where even normal, it's normal for a person to take time out for themselves. And that is, I believe, is a key change that I had seen years ago in Malaysia, which is holding good even today, because people take care of themselves. I have seen a lot of boot camps that take place there, where people go out and actually exercise and take time out to take care of their bodies. Not just, cosmetics. It's a huge industry there as well. Yes. But it is also healing from within. And that is where I found that Malaysia was far, far ahead of even their neighbors, immediate neighbors, like even Singapore, where things were more cosmetic related, but not so much looking at the body and how to kind of heal from within. So yes, Malaysia does has a kind of a head start among many other countries in our region in the area of preventing disease and living a healthy life. They are far ahead.
That is great to know, actually, and we must, kind of commend them, because I also found it very surprising, to find that kind of level of like, how do I even say it, like, even skincare, Dr. Lenny.
Yes,
There's like an obsession about it, if you know what I'm saying.
yes,
In terms of, healing, taking care of yourself, collagen, all that, which I never heard of in India at all, is so huge
that's
in
true.
Malaysia. So
That's
really
true.
huge.
That's so true.
So do we see you coming to Kuala Lumpur often now that, borders are all open and things that way?
Yeah, for conferences, yes. No work-related work as yet, but you can never say what the future holds.
Yes.
We are doing some units in the Gulf in Dubai. There are
Okay.
some offers that have opened up because everyone's looking, to get more healthier, and so we are in the process of putting up wellness setups, IV lounges where people can actually take IVs, which is my forte. Uh,
Yes.
you can take IVs to enhance the nutritive value of what you want to do.
Yes.
Uh, and so that is where we are doing things to help people at least come halfway, because many people can't radically change their lifestyles, but they can add things to their lifestyle that will kind of give them some benefit and stop the disease process halfway. So we are doing a
Yeah.
lot of things outside of India as well.
Okay.
Hopefully, Malaysia will be somewhere in the distant horizon,
Yeah.
not too distant horizon. We will be looking at Malaysia as well, and probably I have a lot of friends there, a
Yes.
lot of good tie-ups. We do a lot of. I do have a lot of tie-ups with doctors who work with us. We collaborate to teach patients there online,
Correct.
and been doing that right through COVID. So I have a lot of partners in Malaysia, and so it. I love the country, and I can't stay away from it. So, even from the distance, we do help out as much as we can with our tie-ups with doctors there. Yes,
Correct. And now you have me too in Malaysia to add
yes, that was so nice to come on.
to add the support system to it. Yeah, because I'm so, as I mentioned to you, I have I'm heavily invested now into health, because I think, like I said, like you also kind of said, it is the key to live a really happy life within, and obviously becomes a reflection out. What would be your, like, a very truthful prescription, Dr. Lenny, to women on beauty? We are dying to hear that.
Yes, so this is something that every woman asks me, and let me tell you that I have more women patients than males,
Yes.
because I'm very straight about what I have to tell them as far as their beauty goes. Uh, it's not just cosmetics that keep your skin beautiful. In fact, it is much more than that. And Malaysia has got a lot of it already happening. One
Correct.
of the best ways that you can keep yourself and your skin healthy and make everything that you do really look good for you. I mean, your skin can kind of have that glow,
Yes.
uh, and you start feeling even good about yourself is only when you have looked for uh, changes from within. Now, what do I mean by within?
Yeah.
You need to look at your hormones very properly. See,
Okay.
90% of the times we look at hormones only when it comes to menopause. No.
Yes.
Let me
Yeah.
give you a simple example. If you are highly stressed all the time and you're not sleeping properly, you have knocked out melatonin growth hormone and there's excess cortisol in your body. What this does is it kind of creates a problem with your thyroid secretion. And once that starts, those then create a problem with your sex hormone, specifically progesterone. And when
Right.
progesterone starts going down, your skin texture goes. Whatever you do, it's not going to come back. So
Yes.
balancing all these is a key for you to be able to kind of get the kind of skin tone, color, and and the feel that you want, and then feel good about yourself. Doesn't
Yes.
happen just by going to a aesthetic clinic. Yes, aesthetic clinics will help you maintain it, but you
Correct.
need to do the change from within. So my one thing, you want to get your skin color going up, you want to have good skin, you want to look good.
Yeah.
Three things again: work out every day, de-stress, and most important, sleep well, sleep on time. The
Right.
more you sleep, the skin becomes better. The more you sleep, the skin shine and tone increases. So
Correct.
many women work at night. You look at their skin is pale in color.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, that's correct.
Whatever you do, their skin will never give that glow. Why? Because the sleep, when you sleep at night, you get
Yeah.
growth hormone. Growth hormone naturally anti-ages you. It's like an anti-aging serum that you have. There are two
Yeah.
hormones that you get in the night, melatonin and growth hormone. The moment you stress and you go with that stress to sleep, it cuts the growth hormone. So stressing
Wow.
also causes problems. If you can get round both these conditions and you work out every day, and my workout prescription is very simple. I tell them work out only for 20 minutes, not a
Yes.
minute more. All of us can give 20 minutes a day. All of us.
Correct.
You
Correct.
can't do 20 minutes, do about 20, 25 jumping jacks 3 times a day.
Right.
That keeps your movement going as well. You don't, and maybe once or twice a week, do some heavy workouts. But more than that, more than 20 minutes is not required. Do your workout every day, de-stress as much as possible so you can laugh, you can be grateful, you can do jumping jacks, and it de-stresses you. Exercise itself de-stresses you. Finally, sleep on time. Go to sleep
Yes.
by 10:30, get up whatever time you want, but be in bed by 6:30 with all your lights shut and no blue screens after 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And then you
Wow.
see how your skin starts improving with the same things that you were doing now. No need of editing anything. You'll see how your skin starts improving.
Yes. And hydrate. And hydrate.
Yes, that's something that I tell people every day. You need
Correct.
to have one glass of water every waking hour. See, we live in tropical countries. We sweat a lot.
Yes.
The
Correct.
more you sweat, the more detoxification takes place. So you
Yes.
need a lot more water to get the stuff out of your body. And the more outdoors you are, the more energetic you're going to feel.
Correct.
Even if you're not in the sun, it can be in the shade, but you should be outdoors.
Yes. Ladies, I hope that you've all heard of this, taken down notes. If not, please watch this interview back again and please take down notes, because I think this is the fundamental way to incorporate all these changes into our life. I try to go to bed as late as early as 11 o'clock in the night, and then and then stay in bed.
Yeah, you need to, but you have to put off your lights completely. And so
Yeah.
there's another thing I tell most of my patients and people who come to me for wellness. You see, we have a lot of these tube lights and
Yes.
LED lights. Get them
Correct.
out of your bedroom.
Hmm.
You need
Yeah.
ambient lighting, the old bulbs that you used to get, the incandescent bulbs. Put
Right.
those on your bedside, and that's the only lights you should have post 7:30 in your bedroom. Rest of your house doesn't matter, but in your bedroom, that should be the only light.
Oh, that is a really good tip. I did not know
And
that.
you get sleep the moment you do that, and you get down to bed and read a book instead of going through your as
Yeah.
WhatsApp or anything on the blue screen. You read a
Yes.
book, you fall asleep like this, but you need to be
Yeah.
in bed before 11.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Fine. I'm going to. So we have a new month coming up. I think these are good things to put into practice from a brand new month for me too. Dr. Lenny, this is really beautiful. I love the priceless wisdom that you have shared with us today. So I'm really thankful to you for that, because when experts like you give us advice like this, it makes such a huge difference into committing ourselves or recommitting ourselves, uh, to inculcate a life of quality. Really, thank you so much. Really, thank you.
That is mine.
Which brings us back to getting into not just the way we live, and what we kind of believe in, for a great way of, for a great lifestyle to have in terms of quality of life. What would you say, are your own leadership goals in terms of the future of medicine, and especially post-COVID?
So, Ethel, I would like to say something like this, and I would like to answer this question by kind of sharing with you what my mission in life is.
Right.
And my mission in life is to touch 1 million lives,
Wow.
and help them reverse disease and live a happy, productive life as long as they live. Because the day we are born and the day we die is not in our hands, but as long as we are here, we need to be happy and healthy. And so
Correct.
that's my goal, and that's my mission in life. And so what I do is, I know as one person I can't touch, I mean, I can't do this alone. And
Yes.
so in my own way, I go out and teach people what I've learned. See, over the last 18, 20 years, I've done, or more than that, 22 years, I've done more than 30,000 cases,
Yes.
mainly heart disease, and we've reversed heart disease in many of those cases. That is an experience which probably is given to me because I need to share it. I can't take it with me and go to my grave. And so
Yes.
my
Yes.
mission is to teach as many doctors what I've learned and
Yes.
share with them
Yes.
what are the lessons that I've learned over the years, because then they can replicate it in as many areas as possible. And that is what I do at this point in time. Go out and
Beautiful.
teach doctors, help them to do the same thing that I did, give them my protocol, share it. At times it is at a price, at times it is free. We have got free workshops and free master classes that we do off and on every month. But we do
Yes.
this more because we want to get out and tell people that, hey, listen, you can live a healthy life. You don't need to be in hospital. You don't need to take medications all the time if you know
Correct.
exactly what you're supposed to do to live a healthy life. And so that mission carries on. We are going to be doing a lot of retreats and other things in India and outside the country, and also use social media with webinars and which we are planning to start now, because COVID had too many people on webinar mode and it was getting
Yes.
too much and too overwhelming. Now that things have gotten out and
Correct.
people are more looking at selective stuff, so we are going to give you a series on diabetes reversal, series on heart disease and how we can reverse that, what you can do if you're a cancer patient or a cancer survivor, and how you can ensure it doesn't come back and eat you again. All of these are things that I'm working on, and I'm working also. Or this is something that I need to tell you. My book is in print. The title of the book is Your Doctor Keeping You Sick? I hope
Oh, wow.
it's going to be published and on Amazon, hopefully in December. This December.
Okay.
That's the deadline with my publisher to get it out. It's already in print.
All right.
We've already done one round of editing, and they're doing the second round, and so it should be out.
Wow. That is awesome.
So, is your doctor keeping you sick? All of what I spoke to you,
Yes.
everything in the alternative sphere and the integrative sphere is in there. And there's also a note for my colleagues in modern medicine about why I've titled the way the book is titled.
Yes.
So yes, it's going to come out, and it's a part of that mission of touching as many lives as I can, 1 million lives. That's why I feel I'm still alive despite all the challenges that I've had in my life, and I'm happy as ever today doing what I do. So yes, I still
Yeah,
feel that I need to touch a lot more lives, and that's why I'm around.
that is so beautiful, Lenny, because I think all of us have a purpose, and it's beautiful, and I think it's self gratifying when we understand that we are here for a purpose. So your acts of service, as you mentioned, right, in terms of putting out your knowledge, that you have, which is sharing your gifts out to the world, is a mission, right? Is our purpose, and we never know, where we make a change, how we touch each other's lives, or the lives of people who we've never met, just by putting out things like this out. And I hope it is my intention as well, through the medium of heart to heart, to also create, from what I also kind of look at it as an act of service, by getting experts like you to share, information like this every Sunday on the platform, Dr. Lenny. So
Awesome.
beautifully said. Yeah, so beautifully said. And I'm looking forward to the book. I love the title.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love the title. You should be in Malaysia to do a masterclass on that too.
I will. Once the book is out, definitely I'll be there because I want to share it and give it to a lot of my friends who are waiting for it.
Yes,
It's been long in the making. In fact, the first chapters were written in 2019.
Okay.
And then for some reason or the other, it got ready at the beginning of 2021. And then I thought I need to look at it again because of what COVID was doing.
Yes.
And it finally went to the publisher in 2022, Jan this year. And the publishing house, after going through one round of
editing and things that way.
Other things, I decided to do a plagiarism check just to make sure that I had not copied any stuff. Because when you read a lot of stuff, the language can be and people can claim that. So I did that, and as I was doing that, that publisher closed down.
Oh, okay.
So we got all of that ready, and finally I got another publisher, and it's out now. So let's hope.
Yeah, wonderful. I think I'm also kind of looking forward to it, and looking forward more to having you in person. Doing the honors of talking all about it to an audience. That is also, I think, getting to be very self-aware now from what we can see.
Exactly. Yeah. Malaysia is a very, very self-aware audience.
Yes.
And they know what they were looking for. It's beautiful to talk to people there. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. You're completely right. And I'm also kind of, looking forward to introduce my friends to you as well, because I've met so many wonderful humans, who've kind of, I'm also kind of constantly learning from them. And as I said, it's also enriched my life qualitatively in such a beautiful way. What would you say, Dr. Lenny, as we wind down this, our heart to heart, what would be the legacy that you would like to create for yourself, when we are no longer here?
Someone who always looked forward to reversing disease and keeping people happy and healthy.
Yeah.
That's the legacy I want to live behind. That's the legacy I teach people to do. That's the legacy I tell my doctor friends to do. And all of them, all my student community, I've only told them one thing. I said, at the end of the day, it is not about you.
Correct.
Because there is a population that depends on you. It's about them. And the more you give, the more you get.
Yeah.
And that is something that I want to live back with everyone. You give, and that's when you thank, that's when you get. You be grateful, and that's when you get the best in your life.
It is a fundamental, the fundamental.
And I just hope everybody can accept that, because it comes from the very core. It comes from our country, it comes from every one of us.
Yes, yeah. I think it is the fundamental principle of how the universe functions, right? You give and you get double back, in terms of whatever that you are doing. I also kind of we so strongly believe in what Sadhguru also says. It allows you to kind of take charge of creating your own destiny by creating conscious actions. Simple.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So very well put. Very well put.
Conscious actions lead to conscious karma that you create. That is it. That is it. And my God, and my whole kind of my whole consciousness just opened up with that, Lenny.
So true.
And I told myself, this is such a simple way of living. By being so aware on a day-to-day basis, and apply it to everything that you do, by doing it consciously,
Absolutely. So
right?
True.
Yeah, right from eating to people to everything. Working, deciding who you want to work with, how you want to work with, when you want to work with, why you're working, that kind of thing. Yeah.
So true.
This has been such a enlightening conversation for me, and I'm sure for my audience.
Pleasure.
Yes.
And it was great speaking to you and sharing some of my thoughts that are very dear to me. And I tell them, I speak about it every day. And the more number of people hear it, I think the more number of lives we touch.
Yes.
And thank you for inviting me, because this is another medium through which I will reach out to a few people. And those also will be touched by whatever little I have to say. So even one person takes something home and changes their life, it's made my day.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is what is my core thought process too. Even if we touch one person, someone can change. Even if it's one person, correct? Our jobs are done. Our mission is accomplished in a way. Lenny, Dr. Lenny, thank you so much. Thank you so much for making the time to be on my heart to heart. And it fills me with so much of joy. As I said, I'm going to watch this whole interview myself again, so I can take down notes in my diary, and apply it to my own life too. To all my audiences who are here online with us and who will also watch and share, please share this interview as widely as possible, because we never know whose life we could change today by having Dr. Lenny share such beautiful wisdom and fundamental truths with us on how to live a healthy life. Dr. Lenny, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Ethel. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, and good night. Have a happy Deepavali, and I hope to see you soon in Malaysia again.
Yes, sure.
Good night. To all my audiences, thank you so much for being with me, me today on this edition of Heart to Heart with Ethel Da Costa. This entire interview series, Leadership Soul series, is brought to you in association with the MAC Clinic, Malaysia's pioneering aesthetic institution that believes in helping people to live and age gracefully, to the different holistic methods that the MAC Clinic believes in. Thank you to all my guests who have been part of the Heart to Heart series all this time for sharing such wisdom with my audiences that that helps us all aim for living a life of happiness, quality, and inner joy. I thank you once again to everyone in India and in Malaysia who celebrates Deepavali tomorrow. Happy Deepavali to you. From my heart to yours. Live a life which is beautiful. Good night and see you next Sunday. Bye.
So, you want a facelift, but you don't like the complications of needles. High intensity focused ultrasound, or HIFU for short. Sound new to you? Come, let me show you how it's done at the MAC Clinic. We currently house two reputable HIFU machines, the Ultraformer 3 and R Therapy. With no needles involved, no downtime, and suitable for almost all skin types. Every treatment is tailored as we stimulate the skin at 3 different depths. The superficial muscular aponeurotic system, or SMAS, the subcutaneous tissue or fat layer, and dermis. The perfect option for tightening sagging skin, lifting cheeks, eyebrows and eyelids, enhancing your jawline, tightening the décolletage and neck, smoothing uneven skin and wrinkles, and improve melasma. Alright, so there you go. A simple, quick, non-invasive facelifting method, available here only at the MAC Clinic.